like to ask Mr. Matt Frankel to give us an overview of his background. Matt, are you there, sir?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Clear as a bell. Go ahead. Actually a little muffled, but that's okay. We'll get through. Go ahead.
All right, I'll speak louder.
Thank you,
so
sir.
I don't know, I can't attest to long walks, but I know the thing about pina coladas is absolutely true. That's
Matt.
True. Was I not supposed to share that? So my name is Matt Frankel. I'm a business coach and trainer. This is what I do for a living is teach people stuff. So really excited to be a part of this program since the inception so many years ago. Like many of you, back in 2006, I quite literally stumbled into the AEC marketing world. My background is as I'm licensed as a professional pilot, but I also worked as an airport planner, which is what led me to architecture and engineering. And then I served as a marketing director and have served as a professional coach and trainer. Basically, at every stage in my career, you can kind of look at what I was doing and very obviously see some component of it that was related to coaching, training, teaching, mentoring. And that is really the piece of what I've always done that I love the most. And so being involved with this from a training standpoint is just very natural and very exciting for me. But what I love most about this program is the very tangible outcome. I mean, you're going to go back to your firm with increased knowledge, enhanced skill set, and hopefully 4 new letters after your name. So that's exciting for me to be able to see that very tangible outcome, and we have a lot of fun with this program. I look forward to hopefully working with some or all of you in the near future.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Before we start some of the questions we've already received from folks, I want to just take us through a few quick, easy facts about the actual program. Advance my slide here. Oh, and I'm going to ask Tiffany and Matt, my slides are moving. Yes, roadmap to certification includes is now on the screen.
That is correct, sir.
Oh, I love technology when it works. Just feels so good. Okay, very briefly, friends, couple of important points. One more time, this year's R2C program, R2C is our shortcut for roadmap to certification. That's a mouthful. The R2C program will take place May 4th and 5th this year in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be a 2-day program. Once that is over, it will be followed by a 90-day study program, which we refer to as the roadmap. It's 90 days, roughly 3 months of all kinds of virtual assignments, instructor time. There's faculty office hours, which are monthly webinars, questions and answers, discussion, feedback as the preparation process continues, practice tests that are being developed, and yet more are being developed and redeveloped. I'll come back to that, what I mean by that in a minute. Make a little note in your head when I say redeveloped. Markendium. Yep, you're going to be hearing that word a little bit, Markendium. Those tests, of course, based around the SMPS domains of practice. There's also going to be study halls. Study halls are going to be actual webinars, virtual programs led by CPSMs. They're going to take everybody through each of the domains, PowerPoint presentations, and yet more Q&A and discussion. So again, a lot of, like I said, a lot of talk, but it's important to talk through this process as you are doing all your reading and preparation. Virtual form to post questions. You folks will have access to your own room, your own community, if you will, on my SMPS, where you can post questions at any time. I've got a whole small, not quite an army, but definitely almost a platoon of CPSMs who are able to answer these questions at any time. Everybody who attends the program will receive a new copy of the CPSM study guide, the latest version 3.0, plus some other study materials that are in development, and an online resource library for each of the 6 domains of practice. So again, all that will be located, of course, in the My SMPS page for the R2C class for this year. So that's just a quick a few bullet points there of what to expect. And then just one more reminder, and that's about registration and location. Location, I'll do the first last and the last first. The program this year is going to take place at the AMA Conference Center. It's pretty much felt like middle of downtown of Atlanta, Georgia on Peachtree Street, easy to get to there. And just a reminder, folks, the early bird rate to register for the R2C program ends on April 7th. So if you want to take advantage of that early bird rate, please register or tell your friends you need to register by April 7th. And then, again, registration will continue up through the program on May 4th and 5th. Well, okay, let me see here. Already I see both. I'm going to grab a hold of the chat box here and open that up. And there's also the questions box. I'm going to open that up. With me 1 second here while I make that happen. And somebody, oops, the questions are actually coming in pretty quick here. Question changing. Excellent. Okay. Let me see. Here's the people from Dallas. Okay. Let's see how to proceed. Looking, let me see. I think I'm going to take my first questions that I had set here for Matt and Tiffany. And the two things we want to talk about first are takeaways and also the preparation process. So I promise all questions will get answered. Oh, before I forget, hey, look, there's pictures of Matt and Tiffany. So now you know what they look like, everybody, just in case you see them on the street. You can stop them and ask them. Those are great pictures. Okay. So I forgot we
both agree that that's what we used to look like, and we're going to need those updated. Never mind. Yeah,
these are my glamour shots.
That is a glamorous shot.
30 years ago.
All right, moving right along. All right, so let's talk about takeaways. Just a general question here to Matt and Tiffany. I'll put this out here, and again, just get some more background discussion here going. Looking at last year's program, Matt and Tiffany, in your opinion, what would you say were some of the key takeaways for the folks? And based on last year, what would you say would be some of the key takeaways for folks who are planning to attend the program this year? Matt or Tiffany, go ahead. Flip a coin. Tiffany, ladies first. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. Well, we were, when we worked to put together the program, we were really focused on not only exam, preparation and the key topics we felt like that you should know for the test. For instance, in Domain 1, we felt like 3 or 4 major themes ran throughout that domain that you really needed to have an understanding of that would be a good basis that you need to know inside and out for that domain. So we did that. Number one, we thought it was important to take the main themes from each of the domains and the key concepts and kind of teach those, but also that's one takeaway. Hey, focus on this or direct your attention to this. But then the other takeaway was, in this Domain 1 or Domain 6 or whatever, how does this apply to your business daily, and how can you start using it right now to benefit you in your job and at your workplace? And so I think the key takeaways are that again, just to summarize, the key concepts from each of the domains, and then also how you can put those into practice at your job.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, then, Matt, I'm going to push the next question to you then, sir, and let's talk about preparation. How would you say the R2C workshop will help participants prepare for the CPSM examination?
So I'm going to say everything that Tiffany just said is still valid. In other words, helping you identify the handful of key concepts from each domain that seem to have the most weight and influence on the test itself. But the other thing that's really important that this course does is helps you learn how to take the exam. Standardized test taking is not easy for everyone. And one of the things I used to do in my very Renaissance-esque career is I used to teach the GMAT. That's the exam, the standardized test you have to take to get into most business schools. And so I used to teach folks how to take that test. And just like R2C, so much of the teaching had less to do with the content and more to do with how to actually take the test. And so some tips and tricks like, how to read questions and how to understand, ways to eliminate wrong answers so you have a better shot, at the right answer, and ways to pay attention to specific wording and how to find the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. things like that. I think that's a crucially important part to the overall preparation for the test.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Well, all right then.
Is that the right answer, Kevin?
Yes, A+, 2 gold stars. Well done, sir. Okay. Hey, the questions are starting to come in, so I'm gonna jump to it because everyone's got things they need to know about the program, and that's what I'm here for. Just a reminder again, one more time, if you do have a question, please feel free to type it in the chat box. Should be on the right-hand side of your screen, and then make sure you hit submit, the old submit button, and that way we can see it, and I'll read those out right now. Let's start then. I've got a question here that came in, and this is, I'm not surprised, I mentioned already the big word Markendium. The question is, I've heard that the test and materials are changing this summer. How will that impact this study group material, and what can we expect to be different about the test? Matt and Tiffany, if you want to speak to that, great, or should I start? Because I have some thoughts and insights into what's happening with the program overall and the change with Markendium. My turn first, or?
Yeah, Kevin, will you start first? I guess the only thing, actually, I'll just say off the bat, the content and concepts we're teaching come from both Markendium and the old handbook, so they cross over pretty well, and there's a lot of parallel, a lot of crossover. But the technical aspect, yes, we need you to speak to that. Me and Matt need you to speak to that.
Oh, excellent. And thank you, Tiffany. You actually already said something. Friends, officially, we will say this program, yes, is going to be based around the new Markendium books. But what Tiffany said, both for this program, also applies right now for people who are currently testing. Very much of the material found in Markendium was drawn from the current CPSM reading list, and one of the more often used books or go-to books, if you will, was the Marketing Handbook for the Design and Construction Professionals. So again, right now I'm telling people, since we promised that there would be no questions based on the new material found in Markendium. Those test questions would not be used until a test, which will be launched. Here it is, drum roll. The next CPSM exam will be launched September 1st of 2017. I'm telling people if they want to study from the current reading list, which is the Marketing Handbook and Rainmaking Wired to Clients, they can do that. Or they can currently study from Markendium. And I've got people doing that right now. I've got some folks who are studying from just the Markendium, some who are studying from the what I'll call the current reading list, some who are doing a bit of a crossover. I've had some candidates who have sat down and said, Kevin, you know what? I read the Markendium books. They're great. They're incisive. They're to the point. They are much more up-to-date and accurate. That was one of the main issues. Some of the books on our reading list were getting old, which was the reason for Markendium. But they said they also sat down and thumbed through the copy of the Marketing Handbook. But let's couple of dates here. Let's just clarify here, because I know this is a big issue right now. As the date I already mentioned, after September 1st of 2017, the go-to set of study materials will be the Markendium books. We will be removing the Marketing Handbook from the suggested reading list of preparation materials for the exam. It's still, in my opinion, a fairly good book. It's getting a bit long in the tooth. It was published in 2009. But as far as certification preparation goes, after September 1, we will have created a whole new test form based around the Markendium books, and that test form will go live September 1st of 2017. So that kind of gives you a timeline. How that shapes up with how we get through the R2C program and the 90-day roadmap, to be exact, we'll see how that times out. But again, sorry to hit this so hard, but Markendium books will be our go-to set. Our next question. Okay, sorry. Matt, your turn. Jump in, please. I'm sorry.
Just add real quick, because I don't want anybody to fear that if they go through R2C in May and they don't test before September, that they're somehow going to be lost. Tiffany and I have sat down. We've gone through the entire Markendium. We've compared it to the Marketing Handbook, which we're both kind of intimately familiar with. And I can say with total certainty that the fundamentals have not changed. Some of the domains where you find the information has changed. Some of the information is presented a little more concisely and maybe a bit more updated fashion in the Markendium. But if you know your stuff, whether you know it from the marketing handbook or know it from the Markendium, you know your stuff. It's not going to have, it's not like we're recreating the wheel here, I guess is the bottom line.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, and I should close with this too, and what Matt just said is just a reminder, folks. And Matt said the famous words: concepts and principles. Concepts and principles. I've said this many times. I'll say it again. We're not going to be testing you, the candidate, on minutia. Don't be thinking times, dates, names, places. I always use the same, call it a joke or an anecdote, but we don't care that you know who the first professional services marketer was, or their home state, their hair color. Again, that's way too far down into the weeds. Be thinking conceptually and principles, and that's why, as Matt just said, it's captured in both of these series of texts, the Marketing Handbook and the Markendium series. And so, thank you, Matt. That was well said. Okay, got to keep moving here, gang. Sorry, this is a short one today. I have a question here. Is this mainly for people in the region? I am from Dallas. Last year, to our surprise, and we weren't sure that last year was the pilot program for the R2C, and sorry, I'm Tiffany and Matt, I'm jumping the gun here on you too, but we were surprised to see people literally coming from all over the country, and I'm not making that up. I had Oregon, Washington State, California, you name it, all across the country coming into Atlanta. So no, this program is for anybody. If you can make it to the 2-day immersion course. Oh, there is one caveat. Yes, if you wish to attend the 90-day roadmap, the virtual program, the 3-month virtual program, we ask you that you're required to attend the 2-day immersion course. It's kind of hand in glove, and the two don't work separately. So yes, but to answer your question, this program is for anybody, not just locals to the greater Atlanta or even Southeast corridor. I know, Tiffany, Matt, pretty straightforward question. Any thoughts on that, or I think I hit it?
You hit it.
Yeah, you hit it. We
okay.
All 4 corners of the U.S. and everywhere in between. So.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, next question. Will there be another session this year? I get that a lot, friends. It's based upon one thing. That's a decision that comes down from SMPS senior staff and working with the board of directors or the executive team on the board of directors. It's like everything else in this world. They have to determine putting our best foot forward when we can expand the program. If it was up to me, we'd have one at every chapter, but that would keep Tiffany and Matt traveling quite a bit. But no, it's based upon the program and registrations and turnout that will determine if in future coming years we will have the R2C at other cities, at other venues. So, but for now, no, it was for the 2016-2017 fiscal year, which ends August 31st, of course. There's only one program, the one in Atlanta, May 4th and 5th. All right. Any more questions? Let's see here. Oh, I've got one here. One more just came in. This is kind of a broad question. Let me see. I'll turn this over to Matt and Tiffany. What will be covered during the 2-day immersion course in Atlanta? And we've kind of hit this already. Do you want to go over it again, or synopsis of what your thoughts are on that? What will be covered during the 2-day immersion course in Atlanta? Matt, you go first. Tiffany, you went first last time.
Thanks. So what we do is basically attempt to take you on a non-linear path through the key concepts of the 6 domains. And what I mean by non-linear is this. The domains are great as far as grouping information into logical barrels, if you will, but that's not how our world works in AEC marketing, and it's also not how the test is presented. And so as much as we do try to kind of keep you informed as far as where we are so that you can always go back and find the information and study further for yourself within each domain, more important to us is that we kind of weave it all together and along with you cover, again, key concepts that are high level, that are going to be tested extensively, and so you're gonna come across those things on the exam, but also that prepare you for further study on your own with your local chapter study group or during the 90-day post-class study hours. So I know that's short on specifics, but the bottom line is we're going to lay out all the key stuff, the key concepts, give you a chance to be hands-on with that stuff, and that will prepare you well to continue your journey.
Excellent. Tiffany, anything to add?
Just one thing to add. I mean, to give you an idea of what the 2 days look like, you know, we might report in the morning. We might take you through domains 1 through 3 on day 1. We might do some practice tests. We'll have some group discussion. We'll have some exercises. We have a workbook as a part of the program that, you know, you kind of fill out along the way and have to take home with you. Day 2, much the same. Practice testing, discussion of answers, covered domains 4, 5, and 6. Do maybe a practice test at the end to kind of gauge how you've come along since the beginning of the program. And then we also just discuss throughout, you know, test taking strategies, and one of the things that we think is real important is addressing that fear of failure and taking the test. Everybody's, whether they like to admit it or not, we all kind of get, most of us anyway, get test anxiety, and what you need to do to, you know, the better prepared you are and the more you know about the test, it's going to help alleviate that. So that's the only thing I wanted to add, Kevin.
Excellent. Excellent. That was well said. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Let's see here. A couple more questions. Oh, now they're starting to come in. This is one I'll field. This is a admin style question. Does the registration fee cover the testing fee, or is there a testing fee? At this time, no. Sorry, friends. It's separate fees. There's an application registration fee for the CPSM examination. There's both a member and a non-member rate, and you can find more information on our website, www.smps.org. Look under knowledge, and you'll see plenty of tabs about CPSM. But no, the 2 fees are separate. Thank you very much. Let me see. Somebody asked me, hang on, are there books? Oh, interesting question. This one just came in. Are there any books recommended for reading prior to the R2C 2-day immersion course? Matt, Tiffany, thoughts? I have my own, but I'll let you two go first.
Okay.
I would say that if you can get your hands on Markendium and at least skim through Markendium, that would give you a huge leg up, but I would not say that it's necessary and certainly not required.
And I would also add that we have some, as a part of the program, there might be a few pre-work exercises, nothing that is too terribly time-consuming, but maybe, you know, a couple of paragraphs to read to introduce you to some of the concepts on the pre-work. And those may come from previous articles that could be found in the Marketer magazine or you know, other SMPS materials, or it could come from the Markendium, but you'll be supplied with those pre-work materials electronically after you sign up and during the pre-work phase of the course.
Excellent. Here's a question, gang, pretty straightforward, but also we'll see if we open it up. The ideal test date after taking this course is July, correct? Matt, Tiffany, your thoughts. It's a 90-day roadmap.
Yeah, the answer is as soon as possible after the 90 days. So if that's, I don't really do math well, but if that's July,
I was thinking I add it in my head. So May, June, July, how many weeks is that? So okay, but yeah, Tiffany, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Completely agreed. As soon as you can after the 90-day course is complete.
There we go. Very good.
Where it's fresh on your mind.
All right. I got one more question here, and I think then, folks, we're going to wrap it up. I promise to keep this no more than 30 minutes, and we're at 2:29, and I started pretty close to the top of the hour there. Maybe we got 2 minutes. But somebody asked, should I attend the R2C course or my local chapter study group or both?
The answer is yes. You should attend R2C. you should supplement R2C with your local chapter study group, and then you should take that exam and score 100%.
Bingo.
I agree. I think that, depending on how you work, each person knows themselves pretty well. If you don't take tests that well, and in order to alleviate your test anxiety even, you just want to be, as prepared as possible, then, that's the kind of person I am, because I freak out on tests. So I would do R2C, I would do my study group, I would do the 90-day follow-up, and then I would take the test, because that's the way I like to do things. We did have some people that participated in the program that had already done a study group, and so they came into the R2C program kind of a little, more, knowledgeable about what we were doing. There were some that decided they didn't want to do the 90-day follow-up, and they just wanted to take the test and study on their own right after R2C. They did that, and then there were some that went all out with all of the above. So it's really what works best for you as an individual. You know yourself, you know your time constraints, and usually you're the best person to make the decision on how you need to prepare, how you feel about the material.
Wow. Yeah, I'll capstone that, but Tiffany just said it. Everybody learns at his or her own pace in his or her own way. So really, exactly what Tiffany was saying, you'll be the best judge of feeling when you're ready and had enough prep time. And if you think it's necessary to do a chapter study group along with the R2C. Well, gang, that's it. I'm sorry. I know this was a very short program today, but that's the way it was designed. So I've got just 2 more slides here. I was told to push these out. Just a reminder, don't forget, Build Business coming around this year, 2017 in Indianapolis. It's going to be coming quick. July is going to be here before you know it. Spring is already in the air. And that is it for our program today. On behalf of SMPS, thank you to our esteemed faculty, Tiffany Conenkamp and Matt Frankel, and to all of today's participants. Today's program is now ended. You may now disconnect. Have a great day.